Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we continued on with the trial, and I think it was Adrian pleaded the fifth. And I'm very interested to see if we have to finish this whole case in one day, just based off of what we already have. That would be really neat. Also, probably very difficult, so maybe not as good for me. Anyway, the court acknowledges the prosecution's request, Miss Andrews, if you please. So she's giving more testimony. When I found the body, that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my... What? Oh, come on. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Nope. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? Because it's a frickin' lie. I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Please. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. Oh, there is so much wrong with that. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? And now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Do I just go to the statement that I think is full of crap? But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there's a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Ouch. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, it was a mess. Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? It's a huge leap. I understand your frustration at not being able to prove your theory, however, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then what did you see next, witness? Tired looking, my eye. Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me or did that right there sound a little odd? Very, very odd. This is a statement that I think is full of crap. No way. Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. Alright, I'll buy that. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Sitting up in a chair. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all. Thought he had just fainted. You thought he fainted. I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice? Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? Alright, I don't think there's anything here. And how did you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead? Oh, that's a good question. I shook him over and over, but never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. All of this is suspicious. I was shocked and staggered backward. Knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened. Lies! All of everything that was just said was a lie. This is what it all comes down to, huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? We're back at the beginning. So we're gonna have to present evidence. What do we have? Nickel samurai photo. I don't think it's gonna help. No, no. 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 Guitar case. I'm gonna throw that in the maybe pile. Wine glass found next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice. Bears Andrew's fingerprints. Crime scene photo. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, come on. There's no way. Yeah, who just casually sleeping with a knife in him. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's just double check. Button. Oop, I don't know how that happened. Suicide report doesn't gonna matter. Autopsy: strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Oh yeah, and the scarf around his neck, which I guess would probably be less obvious than the knife. There's the victim's blood and Engard's fingerprints in the grip gate waters engraved. Alright, I was surprised when I walked in and saw it so messy. Juan was sitting slumped over and tired, looking in the corner. I don't think that we're going to be able to argue that one. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought he was dead didn't cross my mind. I want to attack this. With the knife? Or maybe the photo, because it shows the knife in him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the photo. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Ah. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that there was a dead man. That's, well, you see. I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is? Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Another broken pair of glasses. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. Well, I don't know if we've proven that. We have proven that she is lying like crazy. No. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Engard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify, and your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I'll give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. I'm starting to think she didn't do it. There is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Mattengard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? No. Nope. What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Not too concerned about that then. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Engard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at you. What?
The reason is quite simple. The witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth.
She refuses.
The absolute real truth? What are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet?
Huh?
I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Ingard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party.
I don't think she did it, though. That's a lie. I don't believe you.
What?
I was told if I... Oh, I knew it. She's not protecting herself from being incriminated. She's protecting someone else. If I spoke, then it would be all over. And Matt would be never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is. Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Ingard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? I don't think so. All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. I don't understand why, like, Matt being declared not guilty automatically makes her guilty. Like, it seems there would be a separate trial for that. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please, someone help me.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Alright, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime.
What? Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? There's one thing I am 100% certain of. Adrian is not the mastermind of this. I would be willing to buy that she killed Juan, but not of like her own free will. And even that I'm not entirely sure of.
Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix, Wright?
I don't like the way he said that. Why is he using the Mr. Phoenix Wright? Ah! You know, like if this were not a game and kind of more to the point, the second game in a series where I kind of know the score of how these things play out, I would probably, like, if this were our first trial, I'd probably request the not guilty verdict. But given that, I mean, at least I would assume in the original version of this game that this was the last chapter. I don't know if there's another one after this for the DS, I think is what they remade this for, and then now obviously Switch. But yeah, given that this was originally, at least originally, the last chapter, I have a hard time believing that this is the end. I'm gonna go with this one. Maybe game over. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I'd like to know what you are really hiding.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing?
No, not even a little bit. Sure, Matt and Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me.
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth.
You're wrong.
What a shame. I'd hoped things wouldn't come to this. However...
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court.
What? Stop.
Mr. Edgeworth?
This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness.
What?
Because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past.
Stop. Please stop.
No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here.
Oh, that's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report.
What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you?
What?
I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
I don't understand. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll...
If you're going to say you would choose death, that is no concern to me.
Edgeworth, how can you be so cold?
However, before you die, I will put the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do.
Don't understand.
So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either way is fine with me.
I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. Okay, my crime. In quotes. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. Okay. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume.
Stab the body with the knife? Why would you do that?
Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? A certain cowardly man.
What do you mean by all of this?
It might take this court a little while to understand, but... this is the truth.
The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time?
So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim Juan Carita in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt Ingard for the murder. And this is her crime.
What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence with the cross-examination.
Oh boy. Sure, yeah, I'll just, Okay. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. That scarf is a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you had? Oh my god, she's gonna tell us. I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did his best to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt.
So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button.
The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. To get the knife? That was so you could get the knife, correct? Yep. The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. Okay. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time I couldn't control my own body and moved on its own. It's not really a defense. Then when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect.
So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Ingard's hakama.
Yes, that's what I planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Yeah, a bit of an inconvenience, okay. An inconvenience? There's a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There's also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Old Bag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. Hey? You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony.
You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct?
Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's biggest secret there.
And what is this secret?
That I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I were to leave Juan's room in the nickel samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Ingard's room and planted the button.
Into Matt's hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word, who does all this? What does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Ingard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Well, wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Wait, what? I get to cross-examine.
Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial.
Wait, what?
You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr.
Why do I not get to... I'm not done. But...
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning.
Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately.
That is all. Court is adjourned for today.
No! I needed an acquittal. Edgeworth, how could you? Oh, did I do bad? Did I mess up? Oh no, was I supposed to pick the other option? Oh no. Today's trial, it's over. I didn't win an acquittal.
Witness, would you mind if I asked you something?
Edgeworth? What is it?
Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now.
What exactly
is it?
Oh, this. Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remembered just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room?
That day?
Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why... Oh...
Witness, that card. Give it to me, hurry.
Edgeworth?
Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time.
I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card, what in the world is it, and what does it mean? Yeah, we'll say progress. I think we're going to call it an episode here. I have been trying to push for longer episodes, but I think this just makes sense to... I think this seems like a pretty natural breaking point. So I guess there's more investigation? Oh boy. I was really worried that I messed up. I'm still not... I feel like the game wouldn't let me save if I had done something that I wasn't supposed to do. I'm hoping. So yeah, we'll pick this up in the next episode. I hope you guys are still enjoying this as I am. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.